Parallel processing. Nowadays, one of the hottest topics in the field of technology, and to be more specific, in the field of computer science, is the parallel computing or parallel processing. The main question is why parallel computing is becoming mainstream. What can we do with faster computers? With parallel computing, we can solve problems faster. For example, if we have a very long job that takes a long time to execute, if you can run that in a faster computer, it will take a less time actually. Another point is to get better solution in the same amount of time. You may have a case where your dataset is too large to fit on the current technology. If you have a faster computer, you can run a large amount and do it in the same amount that take a smaller dataset case. This allows you to increase the resolution of model, save of the word prediction or things like that, or you can model more sophisticated, add more processing, add more physics, and the model that now faster computer can take the advantage of. What about parallel computing? Actually, parallel computing is a form of computation in which many calculations are carried out simultaneously, operating on the principle that large problems can often be divided into smaller ones, which are then solved concurrently, in other words, in parallel. So, why parallel computing? We no longer see significant increase in the clock speed of processor. The best power consumed by the fast possible processors generates too much heat to dissipate effectively in known technology. Instead, processor manufacturers are adding multi-processor cores to each chip. The power savings come from the fact that slower processor can run at a lower voltage. Eventually, it seems that even cell phones and other embedded devices will move to multi-core processing. For this reason, more compute capabilities are no longer battery life for the same capabilities. Both are compelling values. Part of the assumptions that goes into the definition of how these power savings will be achieved is that the software implementation of the parallel programs running on the two slower processors must be perfectly efficient. Well, nothing in the real world is perfectly efficient. Even if the coding is not perfectly efficient, as long as it is reasonably efficient, then there is a benefit. If the parallel coding is inefficient, then it might be that the parallel program will use more power on the slower processor than the serial program running on the fast single processor. However, since faster processors that won't melt can no longer be made, we are kind of stuck with going parallel and need to do our best. A sequential program is one which runs on a single processor and has a single line of control. To make many processors collectively work on a single program, the program must be divided into smaller independent chunks so that each processor can work on separate chunks of the problem. The program decomposed in this way in a parallel program. One alternative approach is that all program and compiler work together. Problem has inherent parallelism. Programmer has way to express parallelism. Compiler translate program for multiple cores. We would like to thank Professor Pedro Troncoso for his valuable help and guidance.